Hot news today.
Devastating floods in New South Wales, Australia. World's first high-altitude trough CSP begins operation in Tibet. Devastating floods in New South Wales, Australia. 4 people have died and several were missing as major flooding in New South Wales, NSW, left about 50,000 people isolated by floodwaters. The record rainfall, now declared a natural disaster, has been caused by a slow-moving area of low pressure and is greater than any in living memory for some residents, according to local authorities. Heavy rains moved south overnight affecting Sydney and Newcastle, with the Bureau of Meteorology issuing weather warnings for southern parts of the state. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is expected to visit the flood-affected areas on Friday morning with NSW Premier Chris Minns, who earlier said the state was far from out of the woods. The NSW State Emergency Service, SES, said it had responded to more than 535 flood rescues in the 24 hours to 5 o'clock local time, 1900 hours Greenwich Mean Time, and more than 670 rescues since the flooding began. There are more than 150 flood warnings in place, with 40 of those at emergency level, and authorities have reissued earlier advice for people not to drive or enter floodwaters. More than 100 schools have been closed because of the floods, which have left thousands of homes and businesses without power. Evacuation centers have been opened for those fleeing the flooding. Terry, a city on the mid-north coast, has been among the worst affected. On Wednesday, flooding at a major river in the area surpassed 6.3 meters (20.6 feet), beating an almost century-old record for its highest level. Authorities have confirmed the 4th death due to the floods after they recovered the body of a man in his late 70s in the early hours of Friday after it appeared he drove into floodwaters near Coffs Harbour. Earlier, the body of a 63-year-old man was recovered on Wednesday afternoon at a property in Moto, near Terry. The fatality was later identified in an ABC News report as David Knowles. Local police have started an investigation into the incident. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese sent his condolences to the man's family in a post on X, calling his death devastating. On Thursday morning, the body of a man in his 30s was found in floodwaters near Rosewood on the mid-north coast. It followed earlier reports of a man stuck in floodwaters while driving in the area. On Thursday afternoon, NSW police said its officers had recovered the body of a 60-year-old woman who got into trouble in her car in floodwaters at Brooklana, about 30 kilometers (18 miles) from the city of Coffs Harbour. Police said there were a number of people missing, with searches continuing for a 49-year-old man from Cambodia who did not return home several nights ago and was last seen crossing a flooded area. Nearly 10,000 homes are at risk of flooding in the state's mid-north coast. Source: BBC. World's first high-altitude trough CSP begins operation in Tibet. On the evening of May 10, the Tibet Zabui 40 MW CSP project, undertaken by Shandong Electric Power Construction Company No. 3, a CSTA member, achieved simultaneous heat storage and power generation with 2 sets of molten salt, signifying full operation. Located on the southeast side of Zabui Salt Lake, 165 kilometers north of Zhongba County, Rikos City, at an altitude of over 4,500 meters, this project is the world's first high-altitude, grid-end one. It uses a trough CSP station as the main power source to achieve clean energy isolated grid operation and offers a comprehensive, safe, stable, and reliable 24/7 energy supply. The project integrates a thermal and electrical energy isolated grid system, comprising a 40 MW trough CSP station, a 35 MW photovoltaic power station, and 20 to 40 MWh of electrochemical energy storage. Zabui Salt Lake is a high-altitude salt lake in the China Autonomous Region of Tibet known for its high concentration of lithium. Source: Esplaza. Aligned with China's 14th Five-Year Plan for Sustainable Energy Development, the project supports lithium extraction from salt lakes, drives economic growth in Tibet, and delivers significant environmental and social benefits. As Shandong Electric Power Construction Third Engineering Company, Limited's first large-scale EPC project in Tibet and its inaugural domestic parabolic trough solar thermal plant, the project demonstrates the feasibility of high-altitude energy infrastructure. Overcoming challenges such as extreme altitude, harsh climate, and logistical constraints since its March 2023 initiation, this initiative provides critical insights for future high-altitude clean energy projects and advances solar thermal technology in extreme environments. Source: Solar Paces.
Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.